Testing, testing. Pay no attention to the man at the pulpit. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Trust the wisdom in each other. here on the unceded homelands of the sovereign Cossack Abenaki people. We gather in humble respect and abundant gratitude that we may celebrate this precious living world together. We offer respect to the elders, both past and present. In this same spirit, we will respect, protect, and be good stewards of this land for as long as we walk upon it. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Tom Shurston, and I am your worship associate today. My pronouns are he and him. And on behalf of this week's worship team, which includes at least 10 poets, I'm delighted to welcome all of you, those of you here in the sanctuary and those of you watching the live stream. Thank you for joining us in this time of worship. We deeply appreciate your presence and fellowship as part of our beloved Unitarian Church of Montpelier. Today we celebrate the beauty of poetry. We're blessed to have many talented poets in our congregation and community, and we are fortunate to have a number of them with us this morning. I know we'll all enjoy hearing from the authors. Since 1864, this Unitarian Universalist congregation has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance as well as peace and justice in the world. With you here today, we continue on that path. Please know that we have hearing assist devices and child fidget bags in the back of the sanctuary, and also know that you can listen to and watch the service in the fireplace room downstairs should you need to leave the sanctuary for any reason. If you have a personal concern, challenge, or loss, excuse me, that calls for our love, support, and prayers as a spiritual community, we will have a member of the lay pastoral care ministry team available in the sanctuary after the service if you would like to share more deeply. This morning, our lay pastoral caregiver is Mary Jane Olson. Thank you, Mary Jane. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us. If this is your first or second time here and you wish to do so, you could stand or wave your hand, and so we might offer you a special welcome. I see waving hands. Fantastic. We're glad you are here. Any who are newcomers to our congregation and worship services are encouraged to join us at coffee hour immediately following the service so that we can offer you a more personal welcome. Also, you are encouraged to fill out the welcome form so that we can connect with you outside of our service. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I invite you now to turn to your neighbors from your seats here in the sanctuary and offer one another your greetings. It's so good to watch all these connections from up here. You are welcome to continue your conversations during coffee hour. And now let's take a deep breath. Make sure our cell phones are silenced and enter more deeply into a time of worship with the prelude.
Joe Bauer was scheduled to be with us this morning and unfortunately was not feeling well today, so I have the honor of reading her lovely poem, Tasting Nature. Today, the taste of life is lightly sweet, like the barely born mini daffodils in my front yard. Today, the taste of life is a puzzle of coming and going, colliding head-on as they ride a single track. Today, the taste of life is drowsy as I curl into midday warmth, content to drink the scent of spring. Today, the taste of life is contented as I sit with friends who know me well. Today, the taste of life is green as I rest near long boughs of growing buds. Today, the taste of life is exuberant as a dog runs and fetches for her owner. Today, the taste of life is peaceful as turbulence nestles near my spirit's door. And tonight, I dream the daffodils, the puzzle, the dog, the green, the contentment, sweetly sifted all and sewn into memory. And now, please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, Morning Has Broken, number 38 in the Gray Hymnal.
Let us now light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. To light the chalice this morning, we welcome Sarah Franklin. As Sarah lights the chalice, I invite you to light a chalice at home if you have one nearby. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. Got it.
Is it?
No. Close.
I think this wick is rather short. We put the drama in candlelight.
Thank you.
Danya is there when we need her.
Please join now in saying our congregational covenant, printed in the order of service. Covenant 2, speak honestly and listen deeply to each other and the voice within. Treat each other with compassion and honor our differences. Take responsibility for the impact of our words, actions, and inactions have on each other. Support each other in times of need and of grief, and celebrate the beauty and joy in our lives. Honor the gifts of the past and be gentle with each other as we grow. Encourage each other in the brave work of creating a more beloved community and a healthy, sustainable world. And forgive each other and start again.
And the reading this morning is a little poem about my neighbor's dog, who is named Zeus. And that's the reason I love my neighbor. Zeus at play. I can see my neighbor's back porch from the bed where I sit propped with a pillow under my laptop, waiting for the first line to come. And on this gray day, it arrives just as Zeus bounds down those black back porch steps into spring grass grown long enough to be mown. No bearer of threats and thunderbolts, this Zeus manifests as a big black bounding poodle, delighted to play in the wet grass when it's overcast, or to thunder down on grasshoppers when sunny days hatch them at last. This Zeus finds fortune on a long leash and in the lively voices of school children at recess in the next-door schoolyard, in the reliable supply of kibble that Mistress Angie provides, in his own energy at age 8, and in the supple muscle he has under his command. This Zeus knows contentment comes in the cloak of acceptance. That's his daily lesson for me, his watchful neighbor.
Good morning. Today, following a service at 11:30, I'm excited to share what's ahead for spiritual exploration, or the spiritual exploration program next year. So we'll be gathering in the fireplace room for anyone who would like to join. If you're curious about the program, would like to share your ideas, or interested in contributing in either large, small, or even very small ways, please join us. Roles include everything from youth group leaders to nursery and toddler caretakers to sending birthday cards, which you can do from your home in your pajamas, to helping with the spiritual exploration table and supporting fun events like March Mystery Madness, and building a UCM spiritual exploration library for our children and families. So there's literally something for everybody in every interest that you may have, and every amount of time that you may be able to contribute. And if you can't make it today, you can always email me or stop by the SE table in the vestry. Thank you so much for thinking about how you can use your gifts and your talents to support our children and families here at UCM. And today, during our spiritual exploration time, we'll gather for a one room, which means all ages, to explore the question, how do we carry love with us when something changes or ends? As the church and the school year, or the church and the school year approach an end, today's gathering offers us ways to carry something beautiful in our hearts during times of transition. And we are delighted to welcome new families to participate in our program today. If you have not already filled out a registration form, please come with your child to do so, and then you're welcome to stay or return to the service. We are so happy to have everyone here with us today. And adults, please now join us in singing out the children as they go.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Katie, and I have two poems to share with you today. The first poem is inspired by the word imaginal. Cynthia Bourgo, a mystic teacher, describes imaginal as the confluence of and active exchange between the visible and the unseen realms. And caterpillars are actually born with imaginal cells, which lay dormant until they go into the cocoon and become goo, and then the imaginal cells are responsible for metamorphosis. So with that, here is the poem. I got caught up in the pain of being just out of reach. I can see it so clearly where I want to be that I forgot to look at the mountains this morning, at the field rolling down to the flowering apple tree, at my own body breathing and held on this hillside. What past yearning imagined me into this moment where I am alive to my desires? What future blooming is reaching back to me now, reminding me to take it all in, imagining me planting the seeds that will become a generation of beauty? This next poem is inspired by John O'Donohue, who was an Irish poet and philosopher, and he wrote this really beautiful book of blessings. I wrote this poem actually a few days before that last one, but it feels kind of in an imaginal sense like a response to that poem. A blessing for longing. When you cannot yet see your longing, may you breathe in the morning fog and exhale your questions. May your sigh dissipate as sunlight sparkles and burns off the mist. May you see the day clear and rise. May you know that air and breath are always talking. May you know this grace is already infusing into you, lungs to blood to heart. May you remember how longing lives beyond sight for this very reason, to pull you ever closer to the heartbeat of beauty. Thank you.
Good morning. To speak of beauty and Memorial Day. On NPR yesterday, Carol Kirk, a nurse, spoke of treating wounded and dying soldiers during the Vietnam War. 25 years ago, Memorial Day weekend, in this very sanctuary, Rick Redman, a Vietnam veteran and husband of our late minister Maggie Redman, gave a stirring sermon. It's called Theology, Easy as Counting. Anyone is welcome to see this. As those attending UCM's summer meditation meetings know, Stephen Dunn's poetry is vivid, direct, and compelling. He and I were born a few months apart. He died in 2021. He received a Pulitzer Prize for Different Hours, a book published in 2000. Here is Turning 50 by Stephen Dunn. Beauty is in the words. I'll try to get through this. I saw the baby possum stray too far, and the alert fox claim it on a dead run, while the mother watched, dumb and oddly still cute. I saw this from my window overlooking the lawn surrounded by trees. It was one more thing I couldn't do anything about, though truly I didn't feel very much. Had my wife been with me, I might have said, "The poor possum," or just as easily, "The amazing fox." In fact, I had no opinion about what I had seen. I just felt something dull, like a small door being shut, a door to someone else's house. That night, watching stations, I stopped because a nurse had a beautiful smile while she spoke about triage and death. She was trying to tell us what a day was like in Vietnam. She talked about holding a soldier's one remaining hand and doctors and nurses hugging outside the operating room. And then a story of a 19-year-old, almost dead, whispering, "Come closer. I just want to smell your hair." When my wife came home, late, tired, I tried to tell her about the possum and the fox. And then about the young man who wanted one but chaste sense, one last chaste sense of a woman. But she was interested in the mother possum. What did it do? And if I did anything? Then she wanted a drink, some music. What could be more normal? Yet I kept talking about it, as if I had something to say. The dying boy wanting the nurse to come closer, and the nurse's smile as she spoke. The pretty hint of pain, the other expressions it concealed.
Good morning. I'm reading a poem called "The Deer on My Lawn." She nibbles apples that roll musically down the garage roof and bounce near her. She watches flying insects, flicks her ears, and sinks deeper in the long grass. I see movement beneath her tawny coat, knees, tiny feet, narrow legs, almost ready to try awkward first steps. I put out water and leave her in peace, while sunlight moves from east to west behind the trees. A few days later, she brings dainty spotted twins to walk past me, side by side, till they all turn in tandem and return to the woods.
Thank you, poets. As we approach the completion of the church year, there's lots of stuff that's going on. Today in the vestry at 11:45, the Climate Action Team is launching UCM's new Energy Savings Resource Bank, which can connect you with members of the congregation who have personal experiences with buying solar panels, heat pumps, e-bikes, and other upgrades you might want for shrinking your carbon footprint. So please join us. On Friday of this week, May 30th, is the Pride Parade from Kellogg Hubbard Library to the State House lawn for the Pride Festival. Join Reverend Joan in the vestry on Friday from 2:30 to 3:30 for sign making, snacks, and music before gathering at Kellogg Hubbard Library. March with UCM friends and family to the State House lawn, where UCM will have a table at the Pride Festival from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock. Next Sunday, June 1st, is UCM's Pride Service, which will be immediately followed by a rainbow photo here in the sanctuary, so please wear a solid color of the rainbow. June 8th is the final regular worship service of this church year. Summer meditation services begin on June 15th, and regular worship services resume on September 14th. Please consult the e-news, which is updated and published every Friday morning, to learn what's happening and what you can do to get involved in the life of this congregation. Our giving is a spiritual act, and our generosity is a form of love and gratitude that helps us to practice Unitarian Universalism in support of our shared values with our collective resources. Charity is central to our well-being of our church and community and beyond, as well as primary to our own sense of self. The offering pouches are at the ends of the pews on the side aisles and are to be passed toward the center aisle for collection. Each month through the UCM Community Pouch Program, we share part of our collection with an important church fund or a community organization aligned with our values. The May Community Pouch recipient is CV Rand, the Central Vermont Refugee Action Network, which supports the human rights of refugees and asylum seekers and working for justice and giving hope. Half of our cash offerings will go to our pouch recipient, and the other half will directly support the mission and ministry of this congregation. Checks will go to the church unless designated otherwise. The receivers of offerings are eager to channel your contributions to the account you desire, so please indicate that with a note attached to your cash or in the memo line of your check. We are so grateful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms as we receive this offering.
Good morning. I'm Dan Jones. Want to reflect for a moment that 200 years ago in the Western world, the Church of Science and Industry was coming to its fore. In England, the coal yards were spewing out smoke. The factories were first overcoming the landscape. And there was a movement at that time, the Romantics in poetry, who wanted to warn people about what was coming. Now, 200 years later, as our water and air has become a bit of a sewer, when the climate is closing in on us, when we don't know really what we're supposed to be doing, I thought I would take a moment to share a couple of William Wordsworth poems that gave these warnings 200 years ago, and perhaps we might want to think about heeding them now. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We've given our hearts away, a sordid boon. The sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn, so might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. Tables Turned by William Wordsworth. Up, up, my friend, and quit your books. No, up, my friend, and clear your looks. Why all this toil and trouble? The sun above the mountain's head, a freshening luster mellow, through all the long green fields has spread his first sweet evening yellow. Books, 'tis a dull and endless strife. Come here in the woodland linnet. How sweet is music on my life. There's more of wisdom in it. And hark, how blithe the throstle sings. He too is no mean preacher. Come forth into the light of things. Let nature be your teacher. She has a world of ready wealth, our minds and hearts to bless. Spontaneous wisdom breathed by health. Truth breathed by cheerfulness. One impulse from a fertile wood may teach you more of man, of moral evil and of good, than all the sages can. Sweet is the lore that nature brings, our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous forms of things we murder to dissect. Enough of science and of art, close up those barren leaves. Come, bring forth with you a heart that watches and receives.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to sing a poem by William Butler Yeats. It's called The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I will have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping on the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. Their midnights all a glimmer, and noons a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day breakwater lapping with low sounds by the shore, while standing in the roadway or on the pavement gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core.
This is a message to tech support. For spoken joys and concerns, we will need a handheld mic. And I don't think we arranged that, so if someone could help us out with that, that would be great. In our community of care and belonging, we hold each other with love in times of joy and in times of sorrow. In that spirit, we share in the ritual of lighting candles of joy and concern twice a month. During the candle lighting time, you may wish to come forward and share a special joy or milestone so that we can celebrate with you. Perhaps in addition to your family, a special birthday, or anything you are celebrating. You may also wish to share a personal concern, challenge, or loss that calls for our love, support, and prayers as a spiritual community. In just a moment, you are invited to come forward to share your name and to briefly share the joy or the concern that is on your heart before lighting a candle. You may also come forward and light a candle in silence if you wish, or you may wish to share more privately with today's lay pastoral caregiver, Mary Jane Olson. As a reminder, the service is being live streamed, so anything shared in the sanctuary will also be shared with our live stream viewers. This portion of the service, however, will be removed before we post the video recording in our service archive.
Good morning. In 2005, my grandmother wrote me a letter, and in it was a poem. And what I'll read today is a response to that, also with appreciation for E.E. Cummings. When did our lines cross? In the coming and going, rising, falling, losing, finding, remembering, forgetting, you who are no longer, and I, who is what? Who is alive now? A breath, and there you were, a full name and the whole chance of life, a heart to keep worthy of the world. Time, and you took another name, found another life, and founded 3 more, then another life still and yet more. Grandchildren, those years we drew up our chairs to your table and walked together under the tall trees. Then, an ending and a long one. You gathered your ghosts. Do I know you? I swear I know you from somewhere. Your face is so familiar. The past rots. Memory is a house, and then it falls. I come to the place. Hold still, there is something here. You were here. I remember that, but you are not a memory. You are, I am, who is alive now. Because God is not a memory. Who is God? What is alive here? You are right. There is something about the isness. What is this? On the long walk of forgetting, there is, I am, you were, you are, we are, is God. You wrote, a grandmother's love will always be in both hearts, the beholding and the natal. You wrote, my love will always be available to you, even after I am no longer here for conversation or for touching. You wrote, I think this has something to do with the isness of God. Do you think this makes any sense? Only in time. These years, here it is, this isness, as close as I can know it, it is this. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
Please join now in a time of silent meditation.
Short poems for you. They're both very local. The first one was inspired by something that I saw at the Kent Museum exhibit, which only happens out in Calais once a year in the fall, and I highly commend the Kent Museum exhibit to you. Kent Museum photo. White bonnet, ruffled dress. The baby rests on her mother's ample lap, peering around as her family poses. Cousins wearing knickers or pinafores, older relations all in black, all with their necks craned, their eyes angled, fishing for that baby who is like a pink and blue speckled trout they are thrilled to find in their basket. And this other poem is even more local. It was inspired by an experience catty-cornered from here, on the corner right over there between that church and the library. One beauty, then another. First, singing. 4 young women, their strong voices woven in tight harmony like a deeply colored carpet. Then, as I step outside into a hushed, pale blue evening with high, delighted stars, on the corner, the gracious, ample library, all its windows shining gold, ideas and visions pouring out into the waiting bowl of the night.
Morning. I'm Janet. My friend Mitzi has a daughter, Betsy. Betsy is a writer and a teacher who has suffered from ME, a no-cause, no-cure disease, for over 20 years. A poem had not been written for a while. Recently, she wrote Bedridden. I'm going to be reading Bedridden by Mitzi Unger. Of course, the pleasure of an answer would be lovely, the comfort of a cleared path, an open door, a moment of ease, talk of a cure. But right now, I just take some soft late June light and that open hand of yours.
Hello, beautiful people. I have a poem that I wrote. It's about beauty in the midst of despair. I was one day feeling a bit anxious, and I found myself kind of secluded in a cemetery, just sitting by myself, and I just felt accepted and welcomed by the living world that I was noticing and all that came before me. This poem is called Right Now. It's also titled Hello from the Doomed Flower. The bells toll and jingle lightly in the breeze beside the gravestone, ringed by a stand of dry flower stems. I watch them be tickled by the wind's hand-wringing. Kept in place like gelled hairs, mementos glisten in the sandpaper sun. Peepers crying tragic and unrequited love songs to the mucks beneath the mountains. Everywhere, leaves dry secretly in the nooks that shade insects escaping or resting. I sit in the cracked shell of my car, breeze blowing through my brain while avoiding another gathering of faces. Perhaps shadow cannot smother the entire world at once, at least not while the sun still hammers power chords into Earth's eardrums. There is no rush. Right now, life decays and pierces the littered hay that itself once blushed in green. They say life is for the living, but the dead always do the heavy lifting. Thank you.
I don't think your program credited Garrett White with that poem, so this is Garrett, and you have a piece of his understanding of things mysterious and deep. So I am not Peter Lind, but he is not well today, and so he couldn't read this poem, but excuse me, it gives me a lot of help with understanding jazz musicians. And Peter, I think it was in March that Peter did a performance on his jazz harmonica for us. He is such a wonderful spirit, and he's in my poetry class at the senior center, and I love him. And this is what he says. I wish I wrote poems like I play jazz solos on harmonica, standing, listening, never knowing exactly where it's headed, relaxed, ready, not asking if I will attack with a jump or into a duck, under and slide through, or hang on to a motif. Try playfully playing a couple languid teasing notes of a concept, building a bit of a pit-a-pat pattern, or copying an idea someone has just unleashed by adding flourish to their call, blending layers, bouncing up, down, up a scale, back to them for contrast, timing, style, alternating between melody and harmony, hinting at or upholding a theme, then throwing in a surprise for pop, sparkle, purr. A jazz musician is up to a lot.
Play one time through.
What did you have?
Number 329.
329 in the gray hardbound hymnal. As we draw our service to a close, we extinguish the chalice and carry within each of us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and weeks ahead. Please join in unison for our mission statement. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. You may be seated.
And this is the last little poem. It is a celebration of the fact that flowers are everywhere. Even in lawns where they aren't welcome, you will find flowers blooming. On a recent walk home, I found these, and I don't know whether there's a projection. No, I had a little picture of this bouquet that I picked on the way home. Choosing a mini bouquet. The first tiny flower I pick, a single white violet, I wish to inspect closely for the purple shadow in its center, is followed by a small cluster of blue forget-me-nots, necessary for their heart-tugging name. And next, two single white strawberry blossoms for their promise of fruit by late June, the fuzzy, fat heel-all with sturdy stem to stand firmly in the middle, and last, a rare, all-white spill of extra fine forget-me-nots, just as huge raindrops splatter the sidewalk, and I'm home.
Two. 1, 2, 3, 4. You and I both know there is nothing more to say. Chances shut her shining eyes and turned her face away. Leaning on the windowsill, you could write me someday, and I think you will. We could see the sadness as a gift and still feel too heavy to hold. Snow falling, try to keep from calling. Watch the spring turn to winter, fireflies all frozen. The seasons go so fast, thinking that this one was gonna last. Maybe the question was too much to ask.
people in our congregation and know more about them. Depart in peace.